You're sitting across from your boss. He takes a breath and says just 6 words. "Hey, can I talk to you?" That's it. But before you can even think, your heart starts racing, your chest tightens, your vision narrows, and your brain instantly decides, "I'm getting fired." All of this happens in a fraction of a second. This reaction has a name: Rejection Sensitive Dysphoria, RSD. It's most commonly seen in people with ADHD. Many describe it as the most painful part of living with ADHD, even worse than the attention problems themselves. The strange part is that the ADHD brain is built to learn quickly. Yet the moment it receives criticism, correction, or even gentle feedback, it can completely shut down. So what actually happens inside your brain? The moment your boss says, "Can I talk to you?" your brain launches an automatic survival response. The first structure to react is the amygdala, the brain's threat detector. It doesn't wait for logic. It doesn't ask questions. It reacts in milliseconds, the same way it would if a wild animal suddenly appeared in front of you. Before your conscious mind even understands the situation, your body has already released cortisol, your heart rate has increased, your vision has narrowed, and your nervous system has prepared you to either fight or run. And none of this is something you consciously choose. Then scientists discovered something surprising. Neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger conducted a famous experiment. Participants lay inside an fMRI brain scanner while playing a simple online ball-tossing game. Halfway through the game, the other players suddenly stopped throwing them the ball. They were being socially excluded by complete strangers. When researchers examined the brain scans, one region became highly active: the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. This is the same area that activates when someone experiences real physical pain, like breaking a bone. In other words, your brain processes social rejection almost the same way it processes physical injury. That explains why a harsh comment, a cold tone of voice, or being ignored can feel unbelievably painful. Your brain isn't exaggerating. It is responding as if you've actually been hurt. A rude remark from a coworker can leave an emotional wound that feels as real as a physical bruise, even though nobody else can see it. For years, nobody had a name for this. People lost relationships because of it. Some damaged their careers. Others constantly believed everyone secretly disliked them. Yet modern psychiatry had no official term to describe what they were experiencing. Then, during the 1990s, psychiatrist Dr. William Dodson noticed something remarkable. Patient after patient described almost identical experiences. A woman became devastated because someone left her text message on read. A young man felt crushed after his father looked at his report card for a few seconds without speaking. A mother broke down because her teenage daughter simply said, "Whatever." Different situations, different people, but every single one described the same unbearable emotional pain. One phrase kept repeating: "It felt like I was being ripped apart." After hearing that description hundreds of times, Dr. Dodson recognized a clear pattern. He gave it a name: Rejection Sensitive Dysphoria. The word dysphoria comes from Greek and means an unbearable emotional state, which perfectly describes how people experience it. Nearly 30 years have passed since Dr. Dodson first introduced the concept of RSD. Yet if you open the DSM, the official manual used by psychiatrists and psychologists around the world to diagnose mental health conditions, you still won't find rejection sensitive dysphoria listed as its own official diagnosis. Even so, countless ADHD specialists recognize it as one of the most intense and life-altering experiences reported by many people with ADHD. Search for rejection sensitive dysphoria, and you'll notice something surprising. It isn't officially listed in the DSM, the manual many mental health professionals use to classify conditions. That doesn't mean the experiences people describe aren't real. It means the topic is still debated, and hasn't been recognized as a separate diagnosis. For years, many people with ADHD have described intense emotional pain after criticism, rejection, or even the fear of being rejected. Some have spent countless late nights searching for answers, trying to understand why a single comment or small setback can feel completely overwhelming. Too often they felt misunderstood or dismissed because there wasn't a clear label for what they were experiencing. Imagine feeling like you're fighting an invisible battle while everyone else insists nothing is there. That can be incredibly isolating. Because there isn't an official clinical handbook dedicated to RSD, many coaches, therapists, and creators have developed practical strategies to help people manage these experiences. If you've created your own guide or toolkit, you can share it as a collection of personal strategies and resources rather than presenting it as an official clinical manual. Most discussions about RSD focus on the immediate emotional reaction, the racing heart, the flood of shame, the urge to withdraw, and the hours it can take to recover. But the deeper story is what happens over time. Repeated experiences like these can lead people to avoid opportunities, hide their talents, struggle with relationships, or constantly seek reassurance. Understanding those long-term patterns is often the first step toward learning healthier ways to respond and regain confidence. Membership the next morning. This isn't laziness. Your brain matched one painful moment of criticism to a threat, stored the entire activity as dangerous, and quietly shut the door. Days later, you don't even know why you stopped. You just did. The third cost is the biggest one: coaching, mentorship, and honest feedback from people who are better than you at the skill you're trying to build. Every form of real growth depends on someone pointing out what you can improve. But an ADHD brain with rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD, doesn't hear, "Here's how to get better." It hears, "You're not good enough. Everyone sees it. You've been fooling yourself." The advice disappears, but the pain stays. The coach who could have saved you years becomes the person whose messages you suddenly stop answering. Even you can't explain why you ghosted the one person who genuinely wanted to help. Kind of like ghosting me in this video. Subscribe before RSD repeats the pattern. Clinical observations suggest adults with ADHD change careers far more often than neurotypical adults, not because they're incapable or unmotivated, but because every piece of feedback feels like the first warning that they're about to be fired. So they leave before anyone asks them to, only to repeat the same cycle in the next job. So if your brain reacts this way automatically, what can you actually do? The truth is, RSD activates in milliseconds. You can't stop the initial emotional hit. Your amygdala reacts long before your thinking brain catches up, but you can control what happens after the feeling arrives. RSD doesn't just create pain, it creates impulsive action. And most of the long-term damage happens in the next 30 seconds. That's why many therapists recommend a simple process you can remember as HALT. HALT. The moment you feel that emotional wave, do nothing. Don't reply. Don't explain. Don't defend yourself. For the first few seconds, your emotional brain is in charge. If you simply wait, as your rational brain begins catching up. A. Acknowledge. Silently say, "Something in my body just shifted." Don't tell yourself you're weak or too sensitive. Just notice what happened without judging yourself. That creates a small gap between the feeling and the story your mind is about to invent. L. Label. Now say, "This is RSD." Research on affect labeling shows that simply naming an emotion can reduce emotional intensity. Don't say, "I'm being dramatic." Don't say, "Here I go again." Just identify it. This is RSD. The moment you name it, you stop treating it as absolute truth and start recognizing it as a temporary neurological response. T. Think before acting. Now ask yourself one question. What if I'm wrong about what this means? Your boss says, "Can we talk?" Maybe it's bad news, or maybe they need your help with something completely unrelated. RSD instantly assumes the worst. Give yourself a few seconds before deciding what the situation actually means. Practice this on small moments. Your friend hasn't replied for 2 hours. Instead of assuming they hate you, run through HALT. Halt, acknowledge, label, think. Many times, by the time you finish, their reply has already arrived, and you realize you almost damaged a friendship over a dead phone battery or a busy afternoon. The more often you practice on small situations, the more automatic it becomes during the big ones. Living with RSD isn't easy. The pain is real. The avoidance is real. The relationships you've lost are real. Knowing its name doesn't erase any of that. But here's the important part. The same nervous system that makes criticism feel overwhelming is also the one that lets you experience curiosity, passion, creativity, and excitement more intensely than most people. You don't have a separate RSD switch you can remove. It's the same system turned up to full volume. Learning to manage RSD is only the first step. The next step is learning how to use the incredible strengths of an ADHD brain. Its creativity, pattern recognition, deep focus, and ability to connect ideas that others miss. Watch it next.